Yo, what's up, man? What's happening? What's going down?
Oh man, it's a lot of news in the sport of boxing, boy. A whole lot of news.
Well,
Yeah,
the first thing I think we should do is take 10 seconds for Leon.
yeah, absolutely.
So, let's have 10 seconds of silence for Leon. Then we'll talk a little bit about you and your experience with Corey.
Yeah, 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 man. 10 seconds. Whenever you want to give him that 10 seconds, man, you got a bell or something, man. Give him the countdown. When you
I
set.
don't I don't have a bell on this particular app, but
Yeah, yeah,
I have a timer here, so
yeah. I see Devin Alexander, St. Louis own. That's right. He said, "Yes, sir, St. Louis legend."
yep. So
You're
so
right,
let,
DA.
let's let's start with 10 seconds of silence.
Yeah, 10 seconds of silence for the great Leon Spinks.
So Leon was Corey's father, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yes, indeed. Hmm. Yep, and Michael Spink's brother.
Yeah, they are. It, to think that this whole thing, his cancer thing started with him swallowing a chicken bone. You know what I mean? You have to kind of think of the irony of that. He beats Ali for becomes the first man to beat Ali, and then in the end, he dies basically from something that happened from a chicken bone. You know,
Wow, how accurate is that? I mean, that's real accurate.
yeah, yeah. I mean, his first operation and the first time that he got operated on, and they found out about his cancer started from him swallowing a chicken bone.
Wow, dang, that's sad.
Yeah,
That's sad. But
yeah,
it goes deeper than that, though. It's just I don't know, man. What we be eating, what's in the air, it's just cancer's just popping up everywhere, killing a lot of people. Killed my auntie.
Well, I mean, I had a brother that just died from cancer just last January.
Mm.
And I have a brother that Saturday he's in Atlanta, and they had to rush him to the hospital for COVID. But he's one of those that doesn't believe in wearing masks, and I mean, that's his consequence. I mean, like I said, each his own. It's my brother, but hey, I would much rather see him with a mask on than to go visit him in the hospital or be singing sad songs and fried chicken. So but that's his choice. So everybody makes their own decisions. We're all grown people, so
Yeah,
but you know,
yeah, yeah.
it, it, it's kind of ironic because he got COVID
Hmm.
filming his pastor and his wife at church, and
Mm.
both of them got COVID.
Wow. Mm.
You know, so I mean, it's no joke. I mean, people can't spread it.
Okay, DA. Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, is our first guest in the queue yet?
No, no, no. I see. I'm supposed to be going to camp with Alexander. So he said, "Hey, Coach, April 12th, we might be leaving next week sometime."
Okay.
We see. Y'all ain't know about the train. The great Devin Alexander, the great. Absolutely appreciate the opportunity, my bro. Dogs are us.
Um. So there's been a couple of things that came across this week. I don't know if you have had a chance to see any of them, but
Mm.
David Benavidez says Canelo's booked up,
Mm-hmm.
so there's no
Mm-hmm.
need to look for that.
Okay.
But there's a guy down there at 168 that he says he wants to try him out, and
Oh yeah,
that's Charlo.
absolutely. No, Charlo at 160 though.
No,
Charlo
no,
at 160.
no, the other one, the other
Yeah,
brother.
yeah, yeah. But the
You
other
got
brother,
you got
the other
one at
brother,
160. You got one at 160 and one at 168, right?
no, no, no. One at 154, and the other one at 160. The one I fought is at 160.
But he's fighting. He wants to fight Canelo at 168. He's willing to move up, right?
Yeah, yeah. Opportunity. Shoot, I'm willing to move up for 168. Fight Canelo.
Right,
175. I
but
fight him at 190.
but when you think about it seriously now,
Yeah,
David Benavidez, says, well, he called everybody out.
yeah.
Say, if you don't want, Charlo don't want to fight, then I'll fight the other kid that's undefeated. You know, excuse me. But
Oh
what
boy,
do
you just
you
got a shot, didn't you?
say? What?
You just got a shot, didn't you? You good?
I, hey, I keep they call they track you.
Okay.
What they do is every day you get a thing on your app and it says today, how do you feel today? Do you feel this?
Uh-oh.
Do you feel that?
Uh-oh.
And if you feel bad, then the CDC will call you and ask you what's going on. What's wrong.
Oh boy. You
So
scaring me, man. You scaring me, bro. You scare me.
hey, well, it's scaring you, but you got to remember, I got a dog tag, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
You done
you
jumped out
know
of on airplanes too.
so I mean, so the
That's
idea,
crazy. Right.
the idea of the government
Yeah.
tracking me, I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, I've been in the penitentiary 4 times. I mean, so how many numbers you want? You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
I can give you a whole lot of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, so you know,
Uh-huh.
so
Sure.
it's just it's like
My man.
age.
Yeah.
It's like age. It's just another number. You know
It's
what I'm
just
saying?
another number, my dog. That's it.
It's just another number.
That's it.
So
Yeah.
but like I said, in the meantime, like when
Yeah.
it hits your family, like
Right.
I had a first cousin. He died from COVID on the 29th of January. You know, but he had got to the point where he had a lot of pain and he didn't want to go to kidney dialysis and all that. So you know, uh, like I said, it depends on your service,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right.
your circumstances. But
But
when
you
it
know what?
hits, but when it hits your family,
Yeah, yeah.
you have to, you have to
Yeah.
start thinking a little bit. As
But
long
but
as as long as it's your family, it's all right.
but
When
but,
it
but,
hits,
but Jay,
when it hits
it's more people that are hit that live than it is that die that hit. Can you agree to that? That people have got COVID and lived. And
okay.
majority of people that get COVID, they live. It's mainly,
Do,
people
do,
that's a little sick,
do,
maybe a little overweight. It's
do,
getting people that's, a little sick a little bit. So I
do,
can
do
understand
you
what that
do
concern
you
certain people.
do you know that even though we killed as many soldiers as we did in Vietnam, that approximately 60% of them came home alive?
Yeah. Wow.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
It is what it is, right?
survival is in our it's in our DNA.
It's in
How
our
you
DNA. Tell them again,
right?
son. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. How you choose to
Yeah.
survive is up to you, but it's in our
Absolutely.
DNA. So
Absolutely. I ain't
so
never scared. Now back to Benavidez. Benavidez want all the smoke. Now, who you think would win a fight between Benavidez, him, and Charlo if they did fight?
if Charlo won, I mean, if him and Charlo fought, if Charlo didn't get him in the first 8 rounds, Benavidez will win.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
And you willing to bet on that? I'm just saying. I'm not. I'm not going against
Um,
you. I don't know who gonna win, but I'm just saying.
if the odds were right,
All right.
yeah. If the odds was right, I mean, I'm not going to bet $100 to get 75 back. You know,
Right. Okay.
but but if I was going to bet 75 and get 100 back, then I might take Benavidez. If the money was even, I'd probably take Charlo.
Okay. Okay. So you the same guy that was going with the Chiefs, right?
No, 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 no. Hold on,
No,
hold
no,
on,
no.
hold on. I take that back. I was the guy that went with the Chiefs.
Okay, then.
I,
Uh-huh.
but I also said, you know,
Can I get my footsteps on air?
because I'm an older guy,
Yeah.
and I know how that pride is. I'm not going to let this young whippersnapper beat me. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure you go through the same thing when you had these young kids, coming calling you out and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I understand, the pride of a guy like Tom Brady saying, like, hey, I'm still the best that ever did it. You know what I'm saying? So I respect him for what he did. You know, but I also got to respect, the coaches, man. Like this was the first time in football history that I can recall where you had three of the four coaches in the game that were black. So,
Yeah.
two.
That's
So I
good.
mean,
You
yeah.
know, Tom Brady come from Michigan, right? He was the U of M. So you
Tom,
know, we
wait a minute,
always been.
hold
What up,
on.
DJ?
Tom Brady went to Michigan.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but he ain't from Michigan
No,
now.
I didn't say he was from. I said,
No,
but they all come through here. Sugar Ray Robinson, I don't believe he was from Michigan, but he grew up in Michigan, and he's
yeah,
considered a Michigan fighter
yeah,
and considered the greatest of all time, along with Floyd Mayweather, who was from Michigan. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Along with Tommy Hearns, along with the Dawg, K9 Bundridge, all champions. Boy, James Tony. Oh man, Michigan in the building. Now, do you agree that East Coast has the best fighters? I ain't gonna just say Detroit because you're Ohio boy, so Ohio too.
um, I think the East Coast has tougher fighters. I think the West Coast has the better boxers.
You say what again?
I think the East Coast has the better fighters. I think the West Coast has the better boxers.
Okay, the better boxers. I don't know because Canelo is from the West Coast. He ain't no boxer. Floyd is from the East Coast and he a boxer. So I don't know. I differ with you on that one.
Well,
East, West Coast.
Floyd became a boxer. Floyd wasn't a boxer when he first started out. Floyd was
What?
knocking people out.
Yeah, but he's
No,
still a boxer. He boxed on Diego
he,
Corrales and
he,
then knocked
he,
him out.
right, okay, but then after that, like after Floyd found out that he could win without getting hit, Floyd Floyd decided that he wasn't going to fight no more. I mean, come on now, you tell me where the last fight that Floyd had. I mean, actually,
Miguel Cotto.
hey, I had this trouble.
What up, EJ?
Uh, uh, Popeye just texted me and said that the link isn't working.
Uh-oh.
Um, hold on. Let me see if I can send it to him directly. Hold on.
I got a
Um,
young champ on here. Little DJ, what's up? Keep going hard, boy.
let me see if I can copy the link that SB sent me and see if I can send it directly to him. So give me a minute here, and I'll see if I can get Popeye on.
All right, all right. Yeah, so Leon Speaks, man, when he beat Muhammad Ali, that gotta be the greatest upset of all time. People talk about some Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson is the greatest upset of all time. I might have to say Leon Spinks with only 7 pro fights beating Muhammad Ali, who's considered the greatest of all time, was the biggest upset of all time. Now, I could be right, I could be wrong, but I definitely can argue with anybody about that. Yeah, Leon Spinks, another one that trained out of Crunk Gym from St. Louis, but he came to the West Side, which is the best side. Tupac will tell you in a minute. West Side. And he was a New York guy, East Coast. But at the end of the day, somebody to do a remake of We All in the Same Game. Cause man, did you see? I don't know, James, you saw those two people arguing, man. It was a young lady and a man. They were shoveling their snow and they had got into it with some
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Man, he went back and got a gun and just shot him, killed him. I'm talking about first when he shot him, he went back and got a bigger gun and finished him off. And then killed himself. I mean, what dumb person could do something like that? I mean, how could you be that stupid? I'm not, man, listen, I ain't trying to go out like that. I done forgot about stupid. I got a family. I got to go back home to my family, come home to my family. I got to do what's right. And I got to think before I react. It's like people don't have brain cells at all. It's like there's no marbles at all. Are you looking like Leon Spinks right now, boy? Boy, you bringing the Leon Spinks back? Don't let the teeth fall out.
Nah,
oh my goodness! Only
that's just,
oh man! But DA, what's up, DA, bro? Hit me up, man. Quit playing, DA. I'm gonna bust you up, boy. I'm gonna be your sparring partner. Oh man, Dog Pound, baby, let's get it. Yeah, man. So Mark Brelan and Deontay Wilder are going at it.
oh man, hey, look here, man. When I read what Mark Breland said, and then I went on YouTube,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's all over YouTube.
Yeah.
What Mark Breland said, but
Yeah.
he's right. You can't. He is right. There's Leon. How many years? I mean, excuse me, Deontay. How many years has he had with Mark Breland?
Yeah.
And we know that Mark Breland teaches defensive tactics. So, I mean, is it? Can you blame the trainer when the fighter won't take your instruction? I mean, how many years have we said Deontay needs a jab? Deontay needs a jab. Deontay needs a jab. People have been sitting out on ringside been saying it. But yet and still, because you knocking people out, because as you go, how you go 40 but
well, he won $1 million with just only a right hand. If I can win $millions with only a right hand, man, I'm good with that.
Okay, all right.
He don't need a jab. He ain't need one. He just needs a better game plan.
So you fighting a man that sits on a 36-inch stool. You fighting a man that has at least on a good day 35 to 50 pounds more than you. That can box. Tyson Fury can box. I don't care what you say bad about that big boy. He can box.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know why?
And why? Why? Because right. Because when he was a young guy, he accepted the fact that, hey, I need more than just power. I can't just go in there and knock everybody out. I got to set them up. I need a jab. I need footwork. I need this. I need that. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Tyson,
right. So Tyson Fury, like Breland said, if they fight a third time, he's going to win a third time. Because, number one, Sugar Hill ain't gonna let him lose. That's
Shout
number
out to Sugar
one.
Hill.
Sugar,
Yeah.
Sugar Hill, he got that Emmanuel dog in him, and
Now
he's gonna watch
you know,
and see.
you know, Sugar Hill.
He was your trainer. You know,
Absolutely. I was about to
you,
say, you know who Sugar Hill started with. We got
right,
everybody started together. First world
right,
champ. K9 boxing. Sugar Hill.
yeah.
18.
So
Yeah, Sugar Hill a good trainer, man. He's underrated. He been underrated. So I'm happy he's actually starting to get the recognition that he deserves because he was in the shadow of Emmanuel Stewart for so long. He trained me. And whenever I was about to ready to fight for the world title, man, Emmanuel Stewart would push him to the side and say, I got this. So people never knew that he actually was the one that trained me. It wasn't Emmanuel. But Emmanuel get to yelling at me like, I'm looking at Emmanuel like, bro, I don't know what you talking about, bro, because you won't train me. You know what I'm saying? Sugar Hill train me. So I listen to Sugar Hill like, man, what you say?
yeah, but okay. Do you you worship God, but you listen to Jesus, right?
Yeah, they the same.
Uh,
I don't
uh,
know about that one.
well, I mean,
Sorry for you right there. We
but
we on
but
all night talking about that one.
well,
Oh,
hey, you got to forget now. Don't forget, I'm the son of a preacher. I'm a sinner by choice,
oh, you by choice?
not by
You wanna
trade,
say it? By choice?
not by trade.
Wow.
I'm a sinner by choice.
You
Yes, I
admit.
am.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We all
Hey,
fall short of the glory of God, though. Come on, somebody. Yeah, we all fall short, though.
yeah, yeah. I mean, but
Old without
when
sin, fast as
hey,
cast the first stone. You remember that? Remember that saying? You should know about that
right,
one.
right.
Yeah.
Hey, but that they also, I also live by he who shoots first is the one that still stands. But that's a different story. You know,
You got a good aim. I mean,
you
you have a good aim. What about your aim? Your aim straight?
I'll put it like this: if I don't hit you with the first one, it's gonna be enough for you to. It's gonna be close enough for you to duck, and I hit you with the second one. Okay.
Hey,
I'm gonna put some bark or some dirt in your face if you hide behind a tree. I'm gonna make sure I put enough down there, but you ain't gonna. By the time you find me, it's too late, son. I'm gone, and more likely, you will be too. But that's like I said.
yeah.
Uh, but let's talk about the ring here because I was very and then the comeback from Deontay
Yeah.
I thought was, first of all, I kind of lost respect when, he accused, Mark of letting somebody tamper with his water.
Okay.
And, I mean, that was the first thing. I think Mark Brelan has too much respect from everybody in the game
Yeah.
for him to do something like that.
And love, I guess.
Yeah.
'Cause, he played with his kids. Wilder
Yeah.
said, man, the man was around my family. Played with my
Yes.
kids.
Right. And let you actually manage him. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mark, I think that was the thing that really hurt Deontay. I'm going to go all the way back to Emmanuel's death because I know you heard it and everybody else at Kronk Gym said at one time Tyson Fury and Deontay will be number one and number two in the world. And
Absolutely. Yep, you're right.
so, the fact that Tyson, that Deontay was able to beat Tyson Fury the first time and not have
It was a
to,
draw. It was a draw.
well, it was a draw, but I would say that he won the first fight, but I think that's what hurt him.
Well, who
Because
eyeballed? Well, who eyeballs did he win the first fight with?
whose eyeballs?
Yeah.
Jack Reese counted to 12, and I counted to 15 sitting on the couch.
Are you serious? No.
Yes, I'm serious.
He
Come
got
on,
up.
he got up at 10, and
No.
and then Jack
No.
and then Jack. Come on, no, come on now. K9?
You know what? We're gonna start
K9,
rewinding some of this stuff. We're gonna rewind this and count it next
uh,
time. I'm gonna have
hold
SB pull that one up.
on,
We can see this one live.
hold on,
Okay.
and the reason why I say that is because of your experiences with Jack Reese.
Yeah.
You know that Jack Reese is a fighter's referee. He
Yeah.
will he will give he will give you that chance.
Yes.
7, 8, 9. You all right? 10. Yeah.
No, that's the team referee. What they doing, they do that. They know what they're doing. No, Jack Reese is a real referee. He gonna 1, 2. If he feel like you ain't getting up, he gonna stop the fight. It's over with. And the way Fury fell, then it didn't seem like he was getting up at all. But
Right.
Jack
Right.
Reese is such a great referee. You know what? This is a big fight. I'm gonna give him all the opportunity in the world to get
That's
up.
what I say. That's what I
And if
say.
he get up, I'm gonna let him fight.
He counted 12. That's he did. So but
Oh my
anyway,
goodness. Yeah.
anyway.
Did you see what Wilder did to that
Hold on.
YouTuber?
Hold on. But see that was Wilder's downfall because he had a jab in that fight. At least for the first 6 rounds, he had a jab. And then he went back to I can knock him out. But he lost 3 rounds in between there.
All right,
That he should have won. I'm pretty sure Wilder won. Fury won rounds 8, 9, and 10
yeah,
on everybody on everybody's card.
The difference of the second fight was Sugar Hill.
The difference of the second fight is that
Yeah.
the difference of the second fight is that Tyson Fury used all of his talents.
Yes, and he used all of his talents because he had a better trainer than he did the first time. And Wilder went with the same game plan. I'm gonna go out there and knock him out, and that was the difference of the fight. One person had the same game plan, and the other person had a different game plan. One upgraded, and one stayed the same.
But do you honestly think that Mark Brelan sent Deontay out there with that game plan? Do you think that was that was their agreed upon game plan, or do you think that was Deontay Wilder's game plan, regardless of what Mark said?
Oh, to be honest, I think that it's a lot of mouse in Deontay Wilder's ear. So what I mean by that is a lot of people speaking in his ear, and I don't know if he know which voice to listen to. When you got a lot of people that's talking to you, it can confuse you. And then you got another voice that's probably saying, "Knock him out. You've been knocking the people out. Forget that. The game plan is knock him out."
Right.
What happens when you don't knock him out?
Right. Precisely. And you got a bigger man leaning on you.
Yeah.
See, Deontay Wilder should have took that fight with Joshua. He could have got him a few extra million, and then we wouldn't have had to go through none of this.
See what Wilder need to do is he need to hire this coach named K9, because one thing about it is I was trained in this business. I was trained by Sugar Hill, right? For years. I'm talking about we won one world title together. So one person that knows the style of Tyson Fury is K9, because guess what? He's fight the same style I fight because he's being trained by the same trainer I got. And that would be good. K9 versus Sugar Hill. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3 with a new trainer who knows the game plan. See, I know the game plan. I can help Wilder get his title back. For sure, 100%. And guess what? If I'm wrong, you ain't got to pay me at all. I'll train him for free. We got somebody in the queue?
Who we got the queue? Is Malisssa in the queue?
Yeah, she in the queue. We got to get SB to bring her in the queue.
Okay. See, I don't understand. Maybe it's the computer or the phone. It must be the link that we have with because I sent the same uh, link to Melissa that I sent to uh, everybody else. So I don't quite understand what's going on there. Good evening, Melissa. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you? Good to see
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Kenai is hiding in the dark there, but he's down on there too.
Hey, how
Uh,
you doing, Melissa?
Okay. I'm
You all
good.
right?
How are you, sweetheart? You
I'm
good? Happy
fine.
New
Girl
Year.
boxing. Happy New
Yeah.
Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah. What do you do? Cause I'm interested in knowing. Hey, JK. Before,
well, let's see.
Mhm.
Other than working with the International Boxing Hall of Fame,
Sorry?
the first woman to be able to work on the Hall of Fame wing for the International Hall of Fame. Uh, Melissa, I mean, should I keep on going? How many?
Sure.
How many? How many? You got a few
I'm
books
the
out
I'm
there
the
too, right?
author. I'm the author of the book called "The History of Women's Boxing," which is the first and only history of the sport. Still to this day, it's been out. I published it in 2014. Should have a second edition within the next 6 to 8 months. It's been delayed because of COVID and everything else. Um, I have a blog called girlboxing.org, and I have been writing about boxing for about 10 years. Wait 1 second. Sorry, guys. That's the challenge of working from home. Um, Cats come in and out of your room and open the door. Um, so yes, I had the honor of being on the first in the first team to do the first selections for the International Boxing Hall of Fame for the first class of women, and we've now had two classes, and so that's really exciting, and I get to vote. So like things you never thought you would do in your life. International Boxing Hall of Fame, definitely one of them. I've also been working alongside Sue Fox, who has a wonderful website called WBAN, which is a women's boxing network. And she started the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame. It doesn't have a permanent location, it's kind of virtual, but I've been involved in that since that first started in 2014, and that's been very exciting. We've had 6 classes so far. Unfortunately, we've had to cancel because of COVID the last 2 years, but we're hoping that we will have our next event in Las Vegas in August. We'll see how that works out. And other than that, I am a huge proponent of women in the sport of boxing, martial women, and really try to lend a voice for
Yeah.
equity and fairness for the women in the sport.
How long you been involved in boxing?
Well, I guess I mean I started training in boxing in the 1990s. I guess around 1994. I want to say
Oh, come on,
94.
somebody. That's when I started
you,
boxing in 1994.
Yeah, and then I started going to Gleason's in 90, I guess January of 97 is when I first walked into Gleason's gym. That
Okay.
was pretty cool.
Do
And I've been boxing there ever since. I
you have
was
any amateur
trained there.
fights?
No, just sparring. Haven't ever actually fought. It kind of came to it late. I was in my 40s. Sorry,
Oh,
now I got
oh,
more tech issues. I was in my 40s, and at the time, there really wasn't a lot. You could do white collar, that was about it.
yeah.
And then I just never really competed, but I spar, and that's kind
Okay.
of fun. And
And,
I've been training with a boxer named Lennox Blackmore for many years. He's kind of
okay.
cool.
So
He's
from there on out, you decided, hey, I want to take this boxing further. I want to go other places with it. But-
Yeah, basically, I would say that that's the case. Part of it was I started to get to know women in the sport. In a place like Gleason's gym,
Mhm.
which is, legendary in New York City. It
Yeah.
was one of the first gyms to ever allow women to box at all.
Uh-huh.
And really starting in the 1970s, there were
Yeah.
two women who came into the gym. One woman was named Jackie Tanawanda, and she called herself the female Muhammad Ali. Uh,
Okay.
she was a big woman. She was, I don't know, 5'10", 5'11".
Okay.
She weighed, 180 pounds.
Uh-huh.
And she started boxing because sorry guys, I just keep moving around because the door keeps opening. Welcome to
You got
Tech at
energy. You
Home.
sparring. That's what you doing. Shadow box.
Anyway, so Jackie Tanawan is this big woman and had a big personality to match with it.
Okay.
And she started working out at Gleason's when it was up in the Bronx. So that was its first location.
Okay.
And then the gym moved down to near Madison Square Garden. So she used to box out of there. And then this young girl named Marion Trumier,
Yeah.
who became known as Lady Tiger,
Yeah.
she wanted to box. And she lived up in the South Bronx. And she used to box out of public housing in the around 116th Street. There was a famous little, basically a gym in a hallway in the projects. And she really wanted to learn the boxing, so she started boxing. And she had heard about Gleason's, and Gleason's would kind of let women come in and work out. So she started working out there. And there was a guy from Madison Square Garden who was promoting fights, and he thought it would be cool to have a women's promotional boxing match in Madison Square Garden. So he had an Italian fighter that he was promoting for middleweight, and he had at the San Gennaro Festival, which is this Italian street fair every year. He was going to have an exhibition boxing match to try to promote his fighter, and he invited Marion Trumier down. So she came down and she boxed like a 13 or 14-year-old boy. They did, I think, 2 or 3 rounds. They wouldn't let him hit her in the face, so they couldn't hit in the face. They could only trade body blows, but she did really, really well. And it's like, cool, we're going to be able to get this thing. We're going to do this fight in Madison Square Garden. So then she and Marion Trumier went to the New York State Boxing Boxing Commission to get licensed to box professionally so they could do this fight. And then they said, no way, women cannot box in New York State. Nope. That was Floyd Patterson was the head of the boxing commission at that time. It was 1974. So Jackie Tanawanda said, no, I'm going to sue you. So she did. She hired an attorney and she sued in court using the premise that they were denying her the equal opportunity to earn a living as a professional boxer. And she won in court the following June. And basically what she won was the right to then sue New York State on the grounds of its sort of violating her civil rights. But she never took it further. And meanwhile, Marion Trumier kind of said goodbye to Jackie Tanawanda in terms of being twinned with her. And she went out to start to box sort of in these amateur fights. And then she started to box professionally. And by 1976, she had redone herself. She shaved her head. So she had, and she started to call herself Lady Tiger, Tyger. And she even, I don't know if you remember the show, well, certainly JK will, a show called The Mike Douglas Show, which was a chat show, a talk show on every afternoon. It was syndicated. And she went to have a fight in Philadelphia with a woman named Gwen Gemini. And they had fought in Rhode Island and in Connecticut in the first legalized fights in those states. And then they were going to have a fight in Philadelphia. And she ended up on the Mike Douglas Show. And they had worked out in Joe Frazier's gym. and she was on the Mike Douglas show with a bald head, and this made this huge sensation in Philadelphia, around the country, really. Anyway, she had a fight. She won, and in that fight, it was not an official bout because Pennsylvania wasn't ready to allow professional women's boxing, but what they called it was an exhibition bout. But for that fight, they had to wear aluminum bras. So, because
Wow.
in
Aluminum bras?
1976,
Wow.
the thought was, oh, if you get punched in your boobs, you're going to get cancer and die.
Okay. Yeah. I wonder about that right now. If a female get hit, in her chest, what can happen to her right now?
What can happen to her is this: you go, ow. That's it. It's not going to give you cancer.
Okay.
Your
Okay.
bra will, but not getting punched in the chest. Anyway, so they had this fight. She won. She did very well. And then her next fight was the first legalized fight in Pennsylvania in like 50 years. And the person she fought was Yvonne Barkley. Now, do you all ever hear of Yvonne Barkley?
I heard of Barkley, Charles.
Right. No.
And they can relate.
Yvonne Barkley. All right.
Okay.
Yvonne Barkley's older sister
Okay.
was Yvonne. She taught him how to box.
Wow.
And he will always say, oh, if it wasn't for my sister, I'd have never boxed.
Wow.
And she was really a talented fighter.
Yeah.
And she fought in the 70s.
See, all that sparring you had, you did not get hit in the head a lot because you got a good memory.
Yeah, she was really cool. So anyway, Lady Tiger fought Yvonne Barkley, one of the few fights Lady Tiger ever lost. And that was a really big deal fight in Philadelphia. And then Lady Tiger went off to California, and in the late 70s, I want to say 77, 78, into the early 80s, maybe 82, 83, there was this window of opportunity where there was a lot of female boxing in California and in Nevada because it was legal. And they were all female cards in some cases. And they fought in Tahoe, they fought in Las Vegas, they fought in Los Angeles and in Northern California. And there were some really interesting, talented women who came through there. There were a lot of women who didn't know how to fight. It was like, oh, I always wanted to box, throw 3 punches and they're pro. And some of these women came out of karate, especially out in the West Coast. There was, in the early 70s even, really starting in the late 60s, I'll even take it back a step further. One of the things about the Civil Rights Movement in 1960, or the Civil Rights Act of 1964, was there was this tiny little line in there that said you couldn't discriminate against people if they worked for the federal government or if they if there was a contractor for the federal government, you couldn't deny them employment. And that was then expanded in 1965. So from that point on, when it came to employment, women, if they had anything related to federal work, meaning working for the government or working for any organization or contractor who received federal money, they could not be denied a position because of gender. That was huge. And women, like in the National Organization for Women, which was sort of equivalent to other kinds of civil rights organizations at that time, took that narrow little codicil that Lyndon Baines Johnson, President Johnson, had added into the bill and grabbed crowbars to widen that out. And in so doing, they were able to change civil rights laws, not only in the federal government, but to leverage those lawsuits to state lawsuits, which similar to what happened in New York when they sued to have the right to box as a profession. So by linking it to employment, they were able to take out all of the gender discrimination. Because, like, for instance, when I was a girl, when I was a young woman looking for a job, there were two columns. There was help wanted men and help wanted women. And through these lawsuits, that ended up going away, and there was just help wanted. You could not specify gender. So a lot of women took that and they said, hey, well, I always wanted to be a carpenter, or I always wanted to box, or I always wanted to do karate, like my brother. And so they started going into dojos and fighting. And in the late 60s, early 70s, karate and other kinds of martial arts, karate in particular, really started to explode as a competitive sport. And you had women competing and really doing well, especially out on the West Coast. So a lot of those women took that experience as fighters in karate, professional fighters in karate, and switched it over to boxing once boxing began to become popular. So a lot of these early fighters were actually karate folks. So
Yeah.
they had a lot of mental discipline, and they just, they were never the greatest skilled fighters,
Yeah. How do you
but
feel
they
about
were the
females
background.
right now? Like, do you actually agree on the hype that they have, or the press they're getting? Do you think they deserve more money? You think they need to be, fighting 3-minute rounds? I mean, how do you think? I mean, I feel like,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. Listen, women always fought 3-minute rounds. You look at those fights in the 70s, they all fought 3-minute rounds. I mean, certain states mandated 2-minute rounds, but where they could fight 3 minutes, they always fought 3 minutes. Listen, I spar 3-minute rounds, right? I'm 66 years old. That's how I fight. I mean, that's how you train, right?
yeah,
You train, you don't have a special little, oh, I'm only going to go 2 minutes and then have my 60 seconds off. You train 3 minutes.
yeah,
Everything's 3 minutes.
yeah. You still train now?
Sure.
Oh, that's good.
Absolutely.
That's good. You still spar?
Still spar.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, COVID is a whole
Man,
other thing.
you do?
Wow. You can tell because of the extra kilos. But,
Wow,
but yeah, no, I love to fight. I love
wow.
boxing. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
great sport. It's
yeah.
great mentally. But
Mhm.
yes, so in answer to your question, yes, women now have extraordinary skill.
Yes.
They put on a really entertaining show. They bring fannies. They put, people's heinies in the seats. They bring in the money. It's about time they got paid for what they do. And they
I,
put their lives on the line.
Carissa Shields is killing the game right now. She's fought
She
on
is.
Showtime, The Zone, I mean HBO, and she about
Yeah.
to
And
fight on
she's about to
pay-per-view.
have a huge pay-per-view all-female
Absolutely.
card.
Yeah.
And
what did you think about that card? I was looking at the card. I mean, I know Clarissa Shields is the top dog, and she has to make all the money. But do you really? I mean, I thought they could have put a better card together.
I think they could have as well, because there are a lot of other title fights happening, and it's really DAZN that's picking up on all of that right now. Um, but I think it's because they did it themselves. They're not in, they're putting this show on independently. You know what I'm saying? This is
Yeah.
not through like a Bob Arum or any of those other
Yeah.
guys.
You know what? That's
So,
the way to go right now. When I fought my fight, I had a fight in November, and we actually put it on pay-per-view. And you can make a whole lot of money like that if you got a huge name.
and I think she'll, and they're not overpricing it. I mean, it's what, $29.95. So I mean, I object to pay-per-view in the age of COVID, where you're charging people a lot of money. It's hard enough. There's just
Yeah.
not a lot of money out there. $29.95. Okay, you can afford that. If it was $75, $100, that'd be crazy. But $29.95, as long as it's well produced. I'll wait and see. But meanwhile, there's a lot of other activity in the women's game on the zone. They've got some really big fights coming up, for undisputed titles, and that's pretty exciting stuff. And they're high caliber. And you've
Right.
got, a lot of these women are young. So the thing with female boxers now is there's kind of two groups. There's the group that came up being able to take advantage of a strong amateur program across the world. I mean, really, there was no amateur women's boxing until like 1996, something like that.
Who
First,
do you think? Now, who do you think is the greatest? Because Carissa says she's the GOAT, the greatest woman.
No, she's not the GOAT, not yet.
Okay. Well, who's the GOAT? Who's the GOAT right now? As of right
Ann Wolf. Ann Wolf.
Well, I would say Ann Wolf was certainly one, and Lucia Riker. Oh my lord, that woman
exactly
box.
Yeah,
she could
fight. Layla Ali.
Layla Ali was not that great a boxer. Sorry.
Yeah. Ooh, she never lost. She was a bad woman.
She was a bad woman, but she also look at who she fought. Sorry, but she never fought Ann Wolf. She didn't fight. She didn't have that.
Yeah,
she was very good.
Christy Martin wasn't bad.
Christy Martin was amazing, right? As her skills, look, she wasn't a pretty boxer, but she worked her ass off, and she created a sport.
She was the Mike Tyson of female boxing.
Yeah, she created a sport.
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
Who's the GOAT then, as of right now?
I don't know that you can really say there is one. I'm sorry. I have a real issue with the concept of a GOAT. That's part of it.
Well,
but I would say
the best then.
I mean, I would say you have again, an Ann Wolf had extraordinary skill,
right?
In her era when she boxed, which is the early aughts. Lucia Riker was an extraordinary. She had just had a high level of boxing IQ, skill. I mean, this is gonna. When you watched the thing with Lucia Riker in particular and Ann Wolf is when you watched them box, you didn't think about gender. You thought about boxing. You watch a Lucia Riker fight, and you don't see a woman boxing, you don't see a man boxing, you see a really talented boxer. And that's kind of, and some women who box, some men who box, you don't see them as really quality fighters. And that's what Ann Wolf brought to the game.
Now,
that's what Lucia Riker brought to the game.
One thing I can say is this, and we all know this, James, is that styles make fights. And Carissa, the style she has, she has an amateur style, which is good for women's boxing for 2 minute rounds. She throw a bunch of punches. I think she has a style to have beaten Ann Wolf, Layla Ali, any of the fighters that fought back then that were great because of her.
And I think you need to be drug tested.
No, I don't agree. I don't think she would have ever. She wouldn't have touched Ann Wolf.
I agree to this.
Ann Wolf would have knocked
her ass
Clarissa Shields out. She
get on the show. Get her back on the
show. You can get her mama, and everybody else. I hope she is listening.
She's the GOAT.
Yeah, right.
Listen, okay. I don't know. You can find this. You can find this on YouTube. Okay. Watch Ann Wolf knock out Vonda Wong.
We talked about that.
That was a perfect style. That's why styles make fights. She was the perfect person for her.
Yeah, right.
She was 6 feet tall. She was a good fighter. She was good. She came out of sports. I mean, she was an athlete.
She was undefeated. She was undefeated.
She just boom, straight right. Down she went. Goodbye.
Carissa would have knocked her out too.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been a body shot though, because I don't know if she would have been able to touch that tall girl's head.
That's why Ann Wolf made her bring her chin down to her.
Now, what I can say is Ann Wolf is the strongest. She's probably the strongest and the hardest hitter out of all the women of all time.
K9.
I don't know. I mean,
whatever you're drinking, K9, put it down. Walk away. Walk away.
I mean, look, Clarissa has.
It'd have been by decision. She'd have beat her on a decision.
Oh, it would have never been a decision. There wasn't going to be no. What's the decision? Was it to give us some more smelling salts? What? Yeah, I know you.
But to your point, in terms of fights make styles, there's a fight coming up on the Zone March 20th.
Okay.
It's Chantelle Cameron. It's for super lightweight WBC title.
Okay.
British fighter Chantelle Cameron
Yeah.
is fighting an old dog in the match, Malisssa
Okay.
Hernandez.
Okay.
Hurricane Shark herself.
Yeah.
She is beyond Miss Slick. She
Okay.
is awesome.
Yeah.
And look, she's 41,
Okay.
so she's no spring chicken.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the woman can fight. Oh my God, she can box.
Okay.
She will school this woman.
You
She
think
just
so?
if she really trains for this fight,
Right.
it's the
Right.
fight to watch. Of
Yeah. So
anything
you said
coming
it's
up.
gonna be when now? It's gonna be what date?
It's that one is March 20th. It's
Okay.
going to
March
be
30th.
on DAZN.
Oh yeah, I got the zone. I got this.
Yeah, no, and DAZN has a bunch of things. I mean, there's
Yeah.
some really great fights. You got on the 13th
Yeah.
of March,
Yeah.
Jessica McCaskill
Okay.
is defending her undisputed super lightweight titles
Yeah.
from
You all about the ladies?
Cecilia Breakers.
You all about the ladies, boy. Hey, look at you. I heard all women come out your mouth.
Well, yeah. Look, who else is going to talk
history,
about it with you, right? Hello.
the history of women's boxing. I mean, it's kind of what else would we expect you to talk about?
Well,
You
I
can-
mean, I'm
right.
happy to talk about whatever, I'll talk
But,
about Canelo, but this is
no.
We did that already.
Two things I do want to talk about real quick, because I know you have to go to work tomorrow, and we can't keep you up here. The first thing, what do you think about the Charlo Benvenidez going back and forth? And number two, who is the inductees for the women this year? Is it Ann Wolf and somebody else, or was it who were
this
you?
year is Layla Ali and Ann Wolf and then Lady Tiger. The woman I spoke about earlier is the Pioneer. Is this year's Trailblazer?
So you had the Pioneer, and then you have Layla Ali and Ann Wolf.
Yeah. Well, you get two moderns and one Trailblazer, and the Trailblazer is that wonderful Lady Tiger who is living up still living in New York City. She's living in East Harlem.
Are you bringing the referee? I mean, it's been quite a while since Layla Ali and Ann Wolf have been in the same room, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, that was a pleasure, because the first two were Christy Barton and Lucia Riker, the other fight that never happened.
Yeah.
Back then. But they were supposed to fight, and then Lucia injured her foot, and then that was that. And they were both out of boxing. Lucia Riker did the film.
Layla was talking about coming back, and if they pay her $15 million or $5 million, she would come back and she would whoop Clarissa Shields. Do you think?
Yeah, right. That ain't never gonna happen. No. Why would she? Why would she do that to herself? No way.
Yeah.
I mean, what Clarissa is, we'll see an interesting fight if she fights Savannah Marshall, the British woman.
Yeah.
Only woman that ever beat her in a box.
Yeah. I just don't think it's, it's not, well, definitely it's not a fair opportunity for women. And I believe that's the reason, one of the reasons why Clarissa has decided to get in a cage. She's actually doing MMA too after this.
Yeah, she is. And because, look, a lot of fighters are like that. I was saying earlier, there's this sort of two groups of fighters. There are the women who came up through the amateurs who have benefit of national titles and were able to compete in the Olympics, like Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall, a whole bunch of women. But Tasha Jonas, I don't know if you saw her fight this summer with the British girl Terry Harper. That was the fight of the summer. That was the fight of the COVID season. It was a fantastic bout on DAZN. But then you have women who came into boxing from martial arts, either as kickboxers or karate people or Thai boxing, who came into professional boxing that way. And these are fighters like Heather Hardy, who got fed up. I mean, that's a woman that was bringing in $30,000-$40,000 in tickets, getting paid $5,000.
Wow,
that was crazy. So she went to MMA. It's the highest paid date she ever made. MMA.
And do you know how much it was?
She was making what, 12,000, 20,000?
Oh, that's still better than what she was getting. She got double, quadruple, triple.
All right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
woman was bringing in $30,000. She was bringing
Exactly.
in more tickets than everybody else.
But
She
see,
was filling,
that's
Barclays Center in Brooklyn. They were
but you know
all her
what?
people.
That's the way to make money, though. You gotta cross over. So when
Yep.
Conor McGregor crossed over and fought Mayweather, he made $100 million. He never made $100 million in MMA.
Yep, exactly. So
Yeah,
it's smart for Clarissa to cross train. It's also,
absolutely.
look, she's been doing nothing but boxing since she was 11 years old.
Yeah.
So, now what she has said is she's discovered her power.
Uh-huh.
We'll see what that really means. But I guess what she's saying is she has figured out a different angle of how to
Okay.
get to knockout power
Okay.
by cross training in MMA and
Yeah.
by really having to rethink how she uses her body.
Yeah.
And when you're kicking and everything else, you're using momentum in a different kind of way. And it's
Absolutely.
not necessarily something that you're keying into when you're
Absolutely.
boxing.
Who do you,
And
let me ask you this question too before I forget. Not trying to cut you off.
uh-huh.
What lady do you think is a lady that actually opened the doors big time to make the combo sport what it is today? I know the lady that actually did it, that actually made it to where everybody is fighting and want to be fighters as far as the females. What lady did it? And I can give you a hint on who I'm thinking.
You mean in MMA? Well,
Yeah.
first of all, in boxing, Layla Ali was huge.
Yeah. I'm talking about today. I mean, Layla Ali and Ann Wolf and Chrissy Martin and Rasheed
And
Riker,
all
all
their
those.
time. Well,
They did a good
Clarissa
job to keep
Shields
it going.
certainly has had a tremendous amount of influence in the
Yeah,
United States.
she had it. But I'm gonna tell you who I think is the lady that made combo sports what it is today, and far as like giving everybody opportunities is Ronda Rousey.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Ronda Rousey was amazing. Has done an amazing thing for the sport.
Yes, combat sports for
Rousey,
females. Period.
absolutely, absolutely. She
She
is.
put where
She
it's at.
became crossover in the way that Layla Ali became crossover when she fought. To this
Absolutely.
day, if I talk about women's boxing to people who don't know anything about boxing, they'll say, "Oh, you mean Layla Ali?"
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
still will always identify women in the
Yeah.
sport
Yeah.
with Layla Ali.
Now I'm not taking
And I
nothing
agree,
from Layla.
Ronda Rousey was awesome.
Absolutely. Not taking nothing from Layla, but she had somebody named Muhammad that helped her out a whole lot.
Oh no question about that. I'm not.
Rhonda had no one.
No,
Rhonda had that.
Rhonda had no one, and then she crossed over. She went into film. I mean,
Mhm.
she's an interesting person. Ronda
Absolutely.
Rousey is one interesting person, and she was.
Yeah.
And when she went to UFC, she was the first female fighter they fought. They put
Mhm.
on there. They signed because she had been Strike Force. Um,
Yeah.
she was on Strike Force for a long time, and that was great. You
Yeah.
know, they did great
Yeah.
stuff on Strike Force, and then he
Absolutely.
took that over, and it kind of
Mhm.
killed it in a way. It killed some of the
Yeah.
fun of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
sport,
But when
in
she
my
tapped
opinion.
out, she tapped out. She kind of reminded me of Tyson. When they got her number, they had
That
her
was
number.
the
Once
that
they
was the end of it.
got
But while she did it,
yeah, she was
she upped
amazing.
the game. She upped the money.
Yeah.
She made it so that people could earn money in the sport,
Yes.
which
People
had
don't
never
mind seeing
happened
women
before.
get hit in the face now because of Ronda Rousey. A
Yeah.
female can get hit, they like, oh man, that ain't nothing.
But
Ronda
you
Rousey.
also have interesting regional people like Holly Holm. If you
Yeah.
ask about combat sports like in New Mexico, they will bow down and go, "Oh, Holly Holm, Holly Holm, Holly Holm." Which
Mhm.
is why it was interesting to me that Clarissa's been doing her MMA training out in New Mexico with Holly. Because Holly Holm, I think it's really helpful for Clarissa because Holly Holm was a serious boxing
Yeah.
champion for
Yep.
years
Yep. You're
before
right.
she crossed over. And she had been a kickboxer originally and a karate person. And
Yeah.
then crossing back over into MMA and
Mhm.
fighting people like Ronda Rousey and really getting up in the ranks in a similar way. I
Yep.
think that's actually probably been one of the most critical aspects of Clarissa's fighting. And if we do see her being able to leverage power, I will give a lot of kudos to Holly Holm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Holly Holm is a knockout artist. She is
Yes.
really good at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Malisssa, we're gonna have to let you go here. I know it's after 10, so you have to get
Thank
your
you.
beauty sleep. So
I do indeed. My gorgeous
Yeah. Hey, we
sleep.
appreciate you.
It's great to talk to y'all.
Yeah, the queen of boxing, the girl boxing. That's right.
That's it.
Where
Girl
can they
boxing.
find you at if they trying to catch up with you? And
If they want to catch up with me, go to girl. I'm on probably most active on Twitter. Girlboxing now is
okay.
my Twitter handle. I do about boxing. I also have a political bent, so don't be shocked. I have a point of view.
Yeah.
And
See,
then
as a matter of fact, you can catch her on my podcast.
that's right.
Okay.
From time to time,
Teamwork.
we'll talk
Make the
politics.
dream work. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on Instagram also, girl boxing now. I'm trying to do something on TikTok. I haven't figured that
Okay.
out yet. I want to get there, but
Yeah.
girl boxing now, Instagram and in Twitter. Girl boxing now on Instagram is more personal. Twitter
Yeah.
is all about women's boxing, boxing in general, politics.
Hey, anybody ever tell you you look like Laverne? Remember
No.
Laverne Shirley? I just don't see the L. I don't see the L on your shirt or nothing though.
No, L.
And we
but she does.
you know.
Malisssa, how
Yes.
are things? I know you work for New York City. How are things as far as the COVID and everything? I know. Are you doing working from home, or are you
Yeah,
going
I'm
back
still
to
working
working?
from home. I work for the city of New York, and we've been out since late March, and will not be going back for some time. Our essential workers are in the office or part time, like inspectors, things like that. But other than that, we're all home. It's a little better. It had been really bad for a while again. We were getting, like just in Brooklyn alone, we were getting 1,500, 1,600 cases a day from Thanksgiving really until about a week ago. So, and we have vaccine issues and everything else. It's a mess here. I mean, a lot of people are homeless. A lot of people lost their jobs. The restaurant industry is decimated, but at least you can go to the gym. It's a little tough. I've kind of held off again just because the cases were too high, and I can't afford to get sick. So
Yeah, I hear you. Well,
yeah.
you have a good week,
You
and
too, my friend. Great to see you.
yeah, I'll see you. I'll see you on the next political show in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you'll see me soon too. It's just that it's lagging. My show part is lagging on, so you'll be able to see me. But
Yeah,
we'll catch you next time. You can hear me. That's all.
I hear you. That's good. All right.
You can't see me.
All right,
Not
you
tonight.
have a good night.
You too.
Okay. Good night.
Bye bye.
All right.
Malisssa is full of knowledge when it comes to women's boxing. She's written a couple books as far as black women's influence on boxing. The first black female fighter. I mean, tons of knowledge. She could probably sit here.
Who was
She
that?
could, huh?
You should have asked who was the first black female fighter.
Hey, all you have to do is go on, like I said, look in her book. The woman is an encyclopedia of knowledge for women's boxing. I mean, she was one of the first women chosen by the big Hall of Fame. The one in Conestoga. That's the one that she works on. So, next year, whenever that's one of the things on my bucket list. To go to the Hall of Fame in Conestoga. One of the reasons is because Marvin Hagler is there every year, and that's my man. So I do want to. That's one of the things that I really wanted to do. Even more than the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which is in Canton. So but. Have we seen Zerto on? I see his manager here.
Nah, I haven't.
I
Um,
was trying to get Zert on because his fight after Saturday, I think it went to a purse bid. And if you remember, Zerto is the one that's 40-0. 38 of them are at one weight, and the other two are as a light heavyweight. Um, Sometimes if you copy and send that link, it won't work. Uh, and it depends on whether they're trying to hit it from their phone or from a computer. I'm trying to find that because I'm pretty sure he's on Facebook. So getting back to our original discussion, who you got, Charlo or Benavides?
man, they ain't about to fight him right now. You know, that's one thing I don't like about what's going on with a lot of these fighters, man. They doing a lot of barking, and my slogan is "Don't bark if you can't bite." And I
Well,
have to add on to
Benavides
that.
can bite. Now, I
Yeah,
mean, you know,
but I
I
mean,
don't.
they not fighting each other. You know, all that.
Well,
All it
that ain't
is
that.
bark.
That's well,
You ain't fighting
fighters,
this all bark. Everybody,
fight. Well, fighters,
but
fighters want to fight.
they not. They
How
behind me, and we can go
how are
on and on
you
and
as a
on.
fighter?
Devontae
How are you?
Davis, they not fighting. They barking. All of them barking. They not
Well,
biting.
but but that's not what they're supposed to do. That's it. That's what you have a promoter for. They're supposed to put your fights together. Now, when you had your first fight with Corey,
Yeah.
how was that fight set up? Did they come? Did they come to you with just a proposal, or we just want to fight K9, or did you do a certain amount of promotions before the fight? You know, because one of those was it the first time or the second time when Corey said he was going to knock you out?
Hey, he said it both times.
Okay, well,
Yep.
so so he had to bark in order to get attention for the fight.
No, he was mandatory. He didn't have to do
Yeah.
none of that.
Well,
He was mandatory. We was gonna fight regardless, no matter what. It was signed, sealed, and delivered. When
yeah,
I was mandatory, and when he was
all them people wouldn't have been at NDO if y'all hadn't supposedly had that bad blood between you, because that's how things was presented at the fight. It was your fight was the main event. The fight before you, it was some hometown guys, I think, that had been rivals and fought each other in the amateurs or something like that. The whole card was about either undefeated fighters or fighters that had a following, and it, I mean, it was. Let me see. Let's see. Jack was there. Jack did the fight. I think Pat was there too. I don't think Pat did your fight. I think Jack did your fight.
I know you was there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me,
Leon Spinks was
I
there.
was there. Emmanuel was there.
Leon Spinks was there.
Yeah, Leon Spinks was there.
I mean, yeah.
Michael Spinks was there. I mean, the whole Spinks family
Okay.
was there. As a matter of fact,
Ain't that but
uh,
a gangster party.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't mind when fighters bark, but I think that when fighters bark, it's up to the promoters then to make sure that hey man, it's gonna be every fight is the fight of the century. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
But okay, but now and this also takes me back to Brelan and Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, Breland also said that he doesn't think that Deontay Wilder can go any further. He'll always rely on that power. Okay.
Yeah. But you know what? I don't think that was necessary to say. I mean,
But
just because
but
you got fired, don't mean you should. Hey, be a man
but
and
but
the
but
man
the man
fed you. He took
but
care
the
of you.
hold it.
He clothed you.
But the man that accused you of letting people put drugs in his water.
Yeah.
You gotta defend that. You can't just let that go.
Hey, just say I didn't do it. Hey, simple. Hey, listen, man, I didn't do it. That's it. But the man ain't going nowhere. He don't train. He ain't gonna beat Tyson Fury on the next fight. He gonna
Oh,
get knocked out. He don't. Oh man, that's just too far.
but but okay. But is
Yeah.
it too far if he's telling the truth?
I mean, how's it the truth when this man is probably the most feared puncher of all time? I don't know the one that has
Was
42
was
wins. No,
was.
still to this day, he still got the best knockout ratio of any fighter of all time.
Yeah, he does.
42,
Yeah, he
heavyweight
does.
for sure. 42
Yeah.
and one with 41 knockouts. Let me rewind that. 42 and one with 41 knockouts. Come on, man.
And that's what he does every night instead of trying to learn how to throw a jab. Let me tell you who I am.
Yeah.
42 fights, 41 knockouts. Let me rewind you for that again and let me tell you who I am. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you that if you don't learn how to do something different, Tyson Fury is gonna knock your ass out again. Now
Hey,
and there was another thing said there, another thing that was asked, it's like, why would you train a fighter if you know that he's not gonna win? Well, if a fighter
what?
comes to you, one of the things that people were saying about Mark Breland when he said that, after he said about Deontay doesn't train this, that, and the other, and people were saying, well, why did you put your time into him if he wasn't going to train, and how could you spend all that time with him and not teach him a jab?
Yeah.
And Mark's reply was that the man did not want to learn. He wanted to rely on his power. So, when people ask you a question, they expect an answer. Now, that doesn't mean that you like you said, he could have said no comment and left it at that. He could have. But the man, I mean, Mark Breland before that incident, before Deontay Wilder said something about him putting something in his water or allowing something to be put in his water. Anybody that you talk to, including us, if you go back a few years when we were first talking about Deontay Wilder and the relationship with Mark Breland, everybody was talking about how Mark Breland was the perfect coach for Deontay because he doesn't say a lot, he's quiet, he lets Deontay do what he wants to do, and everybody was saying Mark Breland treats him more like a father than he treats him like a fighter. Now it's on the other. Now after going through all of that, you had the nerve to accuse this man who, like you said, he played with your kids. He
Yeah.
was a father figure to
All
you.
right.
Now you're gonna take because you lost the fight. You're gonna put it all on him. Did you blame Sugar? Did you blame Sugar Hill when you lost to Charlo?
Sugar Hill wasn't in my corner for that fight. But I blamed
Well,
him when I lost to when I lost to Issei Smith. I blamed him to a certain extent.
but
Yeah.
then okay, but you didn't go out. Did you go out in public and say Sugar Hill should have did this and Sugar Hill should that and and by the way I think that Sugar Hill let him put something in my water.
You know,
I mean think of what just think of what that does
I
to
mean, it's
a
different strokes for
trainer.
different folks, though. I mean, I ain't gonna go. I mean, things that people done did to me, I haven't said publicly. I just, I didn't want
Yeah,
to waste my opinion and hurt someone's feelings or put it out there. Sometimes some things that goes on, like what goes on in the gym stays in the gym. You ever heard that saying?
yeah,
You start getting your feelings and start going public about stuff, then it start getting personal. You know what I mean? It's business. I feel like, Wilder paid Mark Breland to do a job. Mark Breland did his job to the best of his ability. After the fight, it's over with. You know, if I don't want you to train me no more, I give you the boot, or I let you go, or you're not hired anymore. And guess what? You move on. Both guys move on, leave it alone. But for them guys to both be going back at each other, I feel like it doesn't look good for neither one of them, because somebody has
No,
to be a bigger man.
it doesn't look good for the sport of boxing, But as men, you understand them both defending their right to their own opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying. I mean,
freedom of speech.
people,
Freedom of speech.
yeah, yeah. Well, not I mean, not just freedom of speech, but I mean, Mark Breland, if suppose he wants to get another job. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a good example. And this gentleman is well respected in boxing, and he only takes the jobs that he wants to now. But do you remember the breakup between Canelo and Abel Sanchez?
What? You mean
Yeah.
no. You said triple. You mean Triple G and Abel Sanchez.
Was it
Canelo.
Triple G?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
it Triple G and
Yeah.
Abel?
Yeah. Yeah. Because Canelo was never trained by Abel Sanchez. Yeah. It's
Yeah, that's
Triple
right.
G.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah. He being
and
managed by Banks now, Jonathan Banks.
yeah, and when he couldn't get the third. Wait a minute, hold it. I'm trying to think of who had the beef with Canelo over the $10 million when he signed with the Zone.
Oscar.
Was it Oscar? Okay,
Yeah, I know
so I'm
they was
thinking,
beefing. At
yeah,
the end of the
so
day, they was beefing. Yeah, it was beefing at
yeah,
the end of the day.
yeah. So
Oh, you know
mate,
what?
so
No, you had it right. No, you right. Triple G. Remember, Triple G wanted to pay Sanchez less money, and he said
right,
he wasn't taking no less money, 5
right,
or something like that. Right.
right.
You own it. You own it.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, Abel is almost. I mean, he's a legend. Now, I'm not saying Mark Breland, is quite on that stage, but I'm sure when it comes to having pride in your work,
He
he's
Olympian.
on the same level.
Mark Breland, man. Mark Breland, he did more, I believe, as a fighter than he did as a trainer.
Yes, and that's true of a lot of fighters.
Yeah.
That turn trainers. You know,
Right.
I mean, everybody's not
Yeah.
Ronnie Shields or
Yeah. Absolutely.
okay, or
Floyd Mayweather was a good fighter, but he did
right.
more as a trainer than he did as a fighter.
Okay. Oh, yes. Come on now.
Yeah, come on,
Now,
somebody.
hold
Ronnie
on,
Mayweather.
hold on, hold
That
on,
might be a title with him, though.
hold on, hold on.
Okay.
we,
Let me
we,
talk. Let me
we,
say
we,
something.
wait. We forgot to talk about my favorite fighter.
Uh-oh.
I
Yeah.
can't let it go.
Who that?
Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner.
Adrian Broner. But he's
Adrian.
still fighting, though. He's still fighting.
I know. He's got a fight coming up in March,
Yeah.
and you're a fighter, so I want you to tell me.
Okay.
Hold on, because I gotta find I gotta find this.
Oh, man.
Who is? Let me see. Where is he at? Because I think he's fighting in March. When is he fighting?
Okay.
Let's see. Canelo's fighting in Miami in February. Joe Smith is in February. I'm pretty sure it's in March.
Okay.
Canelo. Wait a minute. Canelo hearing against Frampton. March 4th. Clarissa Shields. Povetkin and Dylan White is in March. Chocolatitos in March. Benavides in
It's a lot of
March.
fights, boy. It's a lot, man. It's a bunch
Oh
of
yeah.
February too. Somebody finna fight in February. I just saw not too long ago who's fighting in February. Yeah. It's a lot of fights coming up, man. So many different faces. I can't even keep up with all these names, man.
I mean, Canelo is fighting this guy whose name we can't pronounce.
Yeah,
Like I said,
his name is
oh,
Yield.
here you go. Here you go. February 20th in Connecticut on Showtime. Adrian Broner versus Giovanni Santiago. Who the hell
Okay.
is Giovanni Santiago?
Wow. I know Canelo's finna fight against Yildirim. Yep.
Canelo's is fixing to fight another guy that we know he can beat, and then
Absolutely. Hell
after
yeah,
that
no.
he's fighting. Who's the guy that he's fighting?
Oh, he's finna
Uh,
fight Saunders. That's gonna be a good fight.
yeah.
That might be a 50-50 fight because Saunders ain't no choke. He ain't no joke or no choke. Now Brelan responds to Wilder again. He said Deontay became untrainable. You know, he said I didn't even have his phone number.
See, see, see. I mean,
Wow.
you have to bear a certain amount of responsibility yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can't just say, I'm gonna be your trainer when I call you. You know what I mean? I mean, what does that say? Once again, I think it was a matter of, um, I won't. Well, yes, I will. Maybe it's a matter of having too much too soon. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, think of this. Mike Tyson, when he came in the ring, he came in the ring with a 12 T-shirt. Robin Givens wouldn't even give him the money to buy a robe.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Deontay Wilder comes in with 40 pounds on his neck. You couldn't find something else to do with that money? Maybe I, I understand it's his money, but maybe if he had took another $500 and invested that time with Mark Brelan, he would be walking down the aisle with another 40 pounds on his neck. Instead of, because I'm telling you, and I know it's a dirty game, but you talk about that $10 million that he'll get as step aside money. If they both relinquish their belts, he don't get no money.
And you gotta remember this though.
They fight.
Mark
Remember this. They
Brelan was
fight.
not the main trainer. It was the other kid. The other kid was his main trainer. So Mark only say so much. If you're not the head trainer, you only can say so much. You only can do so much. So you not being the main trainer, you gotta be quiet when it's time for the main trainer to talk. So like I said,
then blame it on the head trainer. Don't blame it on me.
Exactly. But he ain't the one to stop the fight. He ain't the one that threw the towel in. He ain't the one to wave the flag.
But the only one that can do that is the head trainer, right?
Oh, anybody in the corner can throw that towel up, can say no mas like Roberto Duran.
Wait a minute, hold. So you telling me that the guy that handles the spit bucket, he can throw the towel in?
Yeah.
I never knew that. I thought only the head trainer or the second.
Anybody part of the team can throw the towel in.
Right.
They're not gonna know. They see a towel. I mean, it's up to the referee. The referee can say, look and say, okay, no. But your team, anybody in the team, man, listen. If the referee stopped the fight, it stopped. And and if he a part of your team,
didn't nobody on the team argue?
No,
the only one that argued was Deontay.
I think it was a good stoppage. I think that
I think it was an excellent. It was an excellent stoppage. I think.
I think Tyson was about to do something to Wilder, and I understand what Wilder is saying too. Though, to be honest with you, is that hey, he ain't never been in that position before, and give me a chance. Maybe we just saw him get hurt and come back and knock a guy out. Maybe he could have did that again. I don't know. We don't know, and we'll never find out. So. I mean, Mark Brelan did what he did. It already happened. It's over with. But maybe we should have just waited and let the referee stop the fight. and we wouldn't be going through what we're going through. We would be talking about what Mark said today and what Wilder said the next day.
And if like you say, Fury had done something really bad to Wilder, then what we've been saying. How come Mark didn't throw in the towel? How come they let the fight go too long?
Yeah.
So
I'm thinking, right, this is what I'm thinking. Look, we know Wilder has a YouTube. You know, he beat up a guy on YouTube. A YouTuber was talking a lot of slick stuff to him.
it's the same guy. The same guy that if you look on my YouTube page, I had slapped him like 5 years before that.
Yeah.
I think I was like I was in my 60s then. I was a youngster.
Yeah.
He jumped on. He sucker punched one of my fighters. The fighter that I was in.
What'd you do to him?
I yoked his ass. And his father was there with him.
Yeah.
The kid's father was there with him. And I mean, it was a hell of a situation. And then it was a few months later, he started talking about Deontay Wilder and his family and his baby and that, because his baby was born, with the child, she had birth defects. And it just kept on going. The boy kept on going on YouTube and calling Deontay out and calling him all out his name and stuff. And Wilder didn't really hurt him.
Yeah, no,
he didn't really hurt him. I mean, he did enough to let him know, that, and then he kind of stood over him and gave him a couple, words from the ghetto. But
do you think that if Wilder saw Mark Brelan, that he would do something to Mark?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Think he would try to scare Malisssa and say, "Man, what's up? What you do? What up? What up now?"
I think it would be a case like this. There would have to be a crowd of people around where he could, he could do it, but he knows he's not going to be able to get to him. You know what I mean?
Now, Mark Brelan got a right hand now. Mark Brelan has a good jab in the right hand.
Yeah, Mark Brelan got a good lawyer too. And he ain't worried about Mark Brelan's right hand.
Get to a lawyer. You ain't got no brain.
That's how we do that. But
his name was Charlie. There you go, Charlie Zilanoff. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the same guy you beat up, huh? Everybody done beat that boy. Y'all took turns beating him up, huh?
Yeah, well, he was soft. He wanted to be a boxer, but he was soft.
That's why I say don't bark if you can't bite. I'm telling you.
Well,
slogan of the day.
Well, hey, I very seldom bark.
Yeah, that's right.
I never met a rattlesnake that barks.
Nah.
Nope.
They sizzle though.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you know, that you're taking it a little too far.
Yeah.
And I might give you 3 strikes.
Yeah.
More than likely, it's only gonna be 2.5. But
yeah.
That's a different story too.
Yeah. And that hat you got on, it keep reminding me of a fisher's hat. Now, since we're talking about fishing, every season a team goes fishing. Who you could think gonna win the championship? LeBron James, I guess the favorite to win. But we got this what's my man name? Harden. He played with Brooklyn, right? With the Knicks. No, with the
I can tell you one thing for sure.
Yeah.
That the Brooklyn Nets will not win the East. I can tell you that for sure. I can guarantee you that.
Who they gonna lose to?
Anybody they play.
Wow. You must have been watching them boys.
No.
KD and Harden, they back together.
Okay. And when they were to get when KD, Harden, and Westbrook all played for the same team, what did they do?
That's when they were babies. They are veterans now.
And
Yeah,
and when Kyrie says that I'm gonna take off because the earth is flat and I might fall off today, just a feeling.
yeah,
That's gonna be all right.
nah,
When James Harden, okay, let me put it like this, okay?
yeah,
The score is 100 to 99 in favor of the other team.
yeah,
There's 2 seconds left on the clock.
right,
Okay. You got KD, you got James Harden,
yeah.
and you got Kyrie.
Mm.
Who gets the last shot?
Who get the last shot?
Yeah.
Kevin Durant.
And who's gonna pass it to him? James Harden. If James Harden brings the ball down the court, he ain't giving it up.
Nah, he ain't. He ain't.
Okay.
Man, you
If
gotta humble yourself, though. You gotta humble yourself.
okay, okay, wait a minute, hold on now, wait a minute. Wait, you say what you got to do. I'm asking you reality. You know that when James Harden gets the ball and brings it down the court, that he's gonna shoot it, right or wrong?
All right.
Right. Okay. When Kyrie gets the ball with 2 seconds left, what's Kyrie gonna do?
Oh
He
yeah,
gonna try
he'll pass it.
maybe, but if he thinks that he can get to the basket and you out there on the wing with a good 3-point shot, what's Kyrie gonna do? He's gonna try to be the hero and take it to the hole. He did the same thing when he played with LeBron. They won the championship game, but they won the championship game because Kyrie kept the ball in his hand.
So you the same
Remember,
guy that's gonna say LeBron James is better than who the quarterback that won the Super Bowl again? What's his name?
Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Tom Brady?
Now
Am
is
I
LeBron better than
is
Tom
he
Brady? Greater than Tom Brady?
playing basketball? Yeah.
Of course. Of course.
Okay.
Because he the GOAT.
Good. Well, wait a minute. Hold it now. Hold it. Do you think that Tom Brady could win as many basketball championships as LeBron? No.
Of course not. We talking
Okay,
about
then.
sport. Athletic.
Okay.
Athleticism.
Athletic wise, LeBron got it all over. I mean, come on now. If you look at Tom Brady when he was drafted, and they all go to the combine. Do you know that Tom Brady had the slowest time of any athlete, including the lineman at the combine?
I saw that. But he's a winner.
Okay.
See?
Okay. Yeah. But
But
but he can't move in the pocket. He's not athletic. Tom Brady couldn't dribble half court. So when you talk about who's the best athlete, LeBron has to be the best athlete. Now, if you talk about as far as who's the best winner, well, LeBron lost 4 championships. Tom Brady only lost 2. Tom Brady been to 10 Super Bowls. LeBron ain't been to 10 finals yet. So,
yeah.
it's a difference between,
Okay.
athleticism.
Yeah.
Athleticism, LeBron is the man, heads down. I mean, come
Yeah.
on,
He's not
260.
more of a winner, though. He's not more of a
Huh?
winner than Tom Brady. Now we're gonna have to compare Michael Jordan to Tom Brady, not LeBron
Right.
James.
Right. Now you got a difference, you got a different scenario. I still think as far as talent and athleticism, yeah, I mean, the Mike beats him all the way. But once again, Mike lost more championships than he won.
You sure about that?
Yeah. The first,
No.
hold on.
Say no, baby.
Oh, okay. The first 4 years that he was in Chicago before he got
Bad
slapped.
boy. That's right.
No, Bad Boys was Detroit.
That's what I'm talking about. We whooped
Right.
them. That's right.
Right.
Come on, somebody.
Y'all whooped them in a few.
Yeah.
Like I said, that was the first T-shirt that I ever got.
Okay.
Basketball, Bad Boys. I remember that. Bill Lambier. What's my other dude? He was a rough one too. People still don't mess with his ass. The black dude.
Rob.
Huh?
Come on, Dennis.
No,
Right.
no. I'm talking about the guy that before Dennis. He was still on the team. It was Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas,
Bill Lambert.
Bill Lambert. He was and the
Oh,
black
Rick
guy,
Mahorn.
Mahorn.
There we go.
You,
It was Steve. Rick Mahorn.
yeah,
Buddy.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man. Who went down through? Nobody went down through the middle trying to put no layup up with Bill Lambier and Mahorn down there.
Oh
If
no,
you
Rick.
did, Rick
Now
lay you out.
you see
Yeah.
what Mr. Boxing today said. He said Harden is leading the NBA in assists, so he will pass the ball. See, so hey.
Oh, okay. He also leads the NBA in shot attempts. Did he tell you that? Did he tell you that part?
I don't know. I ain't saw that.
Oh, okay.
Are you
Okay.
just guessing?
No. I'm not guessing. He's led the NBA in shot attempts for the last 3 years. Why would it be different now? You know.
Because he got to play the ball. He want to win a ring, and when winning a ring, he had a sacrifice. Michael Jordan had a sacrifice. He passed the ball to Steve Kerr for the winning shot to win a championship before.
Okay, all right, okay. So
I know basketball too now.
Okay, since you know basketball,
yes, indeed.
Name me the last time that you saw James Harden pass the ball off to give another guy a shot.
Hey, he lead in assists. Hey,
that's now. That's now. Before he got there, name a guy that when James Harden got the ball, everybody else stood around.
That's when he was with Houston. He ain't with Houston no more. It's a new day.
Yeah, right. And he's also, look at how many games that Kyrie has been out since Harden joined the Nets. If you remember the first game that Harden played with the Nets, he had a triple-double. His first game with the Nets.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
And guess who was at home talking about, I need to be with my family tonight?
Who that? Me?
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving.
The first three games that Harden was there, and James Harden and Kevin Durant meshed, was because there was no Kyrie. The next game, the first game that they all three played together, all of them scored over 25 points and lost the game.
Hey, Mr. Boxing, he know his stuff, man. He watching basketball every night. Harden is shot attempts this year.
Yeah, what you tell him is that Thursday night I have a show called The Sports Crib, and he's welcome to come on anytime. I don't just talk boxing and politics. Yeah, Thursday night, 6 p.m. right on StreamYard, right where he is now. Tell him to come on down. Come on down.
So is he 16th in shot attempts this year? Just let me know that, since you got your own other show that talks about sports and everything else. Is he number 16th in shot attempts this year?
16?
Yeah.
He wasn't last week. I don't know where he is this week. I have to look.
Okay, well, Mr. Boxer, today he owned it. He owned it. He definitely
16 out of how many boxes? I mean, how many players are there? No, I'm just trying to think. There's 15 players on each team, and there's what, 16, 30, is it 32 teams? No, that's football. Might be a few more. I can't. See how he got me talking boxing talking basketball on a boxing show.
Oh man, listen, it's the dog pound. They don't say anything about boxing. It said the dog pound.
Okay, so anyhow, let's see what he's talking about here, because offensive leaders, the number, see, Bradley Beal, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant now is number 3.
Okay. He gonna shoot every shot.
No, but Kevin Durant gonna make most of them too. Assists, James Harden is number 1. He's leading Luke Doncic by 2. 3-pointers made. He's not in the top 5. Steals, nah. Blocks, nah. Defensive leaders, nah. So let's see. Defense wins championships, right?
Hey, that's what I heard in basketball, not in boxing.
Yeah. In basketball. So right now, there is not one Brooklyn net. Let's see, in the top 15 in defense. Not one. Okay. Now, when you talk about, shots being made, then look, I respect Harden's game, but I just don't think Harden, when it comes time for crunch time, Harden is going to do what he does best, and that's take that shot. When you look at right now, if the season ended today, okay, the Brooklyn Nets would be the 4th best team in the East, which would mean that they would have to play the Indiana Pacers. Okay.
We know what will happen. We know what will happen, right?
Yeah, they'll beat the Pacers. Okay.
Absolutely.
The 76ers is the best team right now, has the best record in the NBA. Now, I think that when you put Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, and Steph Curry on the floor at the same time, that you can.
Steph don't play with
what?
Steph play with Golden State.
I said Seth, not Steph.
Okay.
Seth.
Okay.
The little one. He plays for the 76ers now. He's their Seth Curry. But anyway, he brings, I think the 76ers and the Milwaukee Bucks will end up being the ones in the East Finals.
Man, that guy, what they call that guy? The freak. What's his name? That boy a beast. He's the best player in the NBA. What's his name?
Antetokounmpo, Giannis.
Oh man, that boy, he's incredible.
Yeah, Antetokounmpo, and to me, him and Joel Embiid are the best 2 centers in the league. That are pure centers. But once again, man, I look on this here, and I thought it said the Detroit Lions because I'm used to always seeing them in last place. But this says the Detroit. This said the Detroit Pistons, man. Y'all only won but 6 games.
Wow. Hey, you know what? When Mike Ilitch passed, rest in peace to Mike Ilitch. The Tigers ain't did nothing. They in rebuild, and so is the Red Wings, and so was the Lions. And the Lions ain't won, man, since I was in diapers. They won then. I done gave up. To be honest with you, I'm thinking about what I need to do in my life, in my career, in my son's career, and pushing the brand. That's why we here on the Dawg Pound, getting better, getting more and more people that's actually tuning in and know where we at. I'm going live every Sunday, live sparring every Sunday, and the views are picking up. So I'm just steady, just digging in their chest. So
let's keep on talking about Detroit.
I
want to know what y'all gonna do with Jared Goff.
Who is Jared Goff?
Who's that? The quarterback y'all got from Matt Stafford.
Oh man, we just rebuilding right now. Like I said, we rebuilding. I think the Fords need to sell.
Rebuilding.
They good at selling cars. They need to sell the team because they good at selling cars. And then we get rid of Derrick Rose. Oh man, I never got a chance to go see Derrick Rose play in a Detroit Pistons uniform. And man, I used to love to see him play because he was a dog. In his heyday before the injuries, he was the best player in the league. I'm talking about a beast. Had a heart of a lion.
Yeah, well, y'all Detroit is kind of sparse when it comes to real talent this year, man. I mean,
Yeah,
you need to get rid of Blake Griffin. I don't know
man.
why. I don't know why he's still there. You got some young talent, but it's gonna take, like you
Yeah,
said, it is rebuilding.
yeah,
Uh, but
absolutely.
I mean, right now, the best team in the West is actually the Utah Jazz. Um, they have won 9 out of 10 of their last games, and they've actually been putting up some good numbers. I don't know about the Clippers,
Okay.
and that's because of the inconsistency of Paul George.
Okay.
Paul George will give you, he'll give you a good regular season, but he tends to disappear in the off season.
Right.
You can't, Now the Portland Trailblazers right now they're number 6, but that's a dangerous place. Right. I think the only reason why they're number 6 right now is because they're missing C.J. McCullough. Damon Lillard is still doing his thing. Um,
That boy David Leonard, a dog boy. That boy, hey, listen, he can rap. He can play basketball. He's multi-talented for real.
yeah, he is. He is.
Man.
You got the Dallas Mavericks, with Dokic, but they're still inconsistent as a team. Um, the
Man. For real.
Pelicans, the Pelicans, I think the jury is still out on Zion.
Yeah.
Uh, Zion kind of reminds me of Charles Barkley.
You do?
And
Yeah.
the reason why I say that is because I think that he'll be one of those players. He'll be a good player, and you'll always know his name, but he'll never win a ring.
Wow. What a bold statement. Why you couldn't say that for your other show? You just took off the air. You know how many followers he got?
Hey, well, tell them all to come back next week and cuss me out and talk about me. See,
Oh, you got to know where they can find you at.
Oh, I'm gonna tell them.
Wednesday,
Hey,
Monday,
hey,
and Sunday.
I'm gonna tell them. I'm gonna tell them where they can find me at. I ain't never been scared to get nobody my address. You should be scared to come to my house.
Oh my goodness.
That shit, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, because that means if you show up on my door, then whatever happens, it's
Yeah.
on you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Hey, let me ask
so
you, do you remember Derek Coleman? Remember Derek Coleman,
yeah,
Detroit?
yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember Derek Coleman.
Oh man, he
I
be
remember. I tell you what. I tell you another thing about Detroit.
yeah.
The only basketball uh, article that I ever wrote was when Detroit traded Chauncey Billups.
Oh yeah, that was bad. That was my homeboy too. Man, it
Yeah,
was cool too. Yeah, we was really boys. That's my dog, Chauncey Billups.
yeah, yeah.
Real dude.
I don't really see that Detroit has ever recovered from that.
Yeah, they was in rebuild anyway. Remember they got rid of
Uh,
Joe Dumars and all that, so they was in rebuild. Then they got Allen Iverson, older Allen Iverson.
Yeah, but that's they're doing the same thing now. That you went and got an older Blake Griffin. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If he had been that valuable, they'd have kept his ass out here. You gonna tell me? I mean, come
Yeah,
on now.
yeah.
I mean, you don't even sell cars in Detroit no more. What are you gonna do? Shovel snow? I mean, come on,
Nah,
really.
they still selling cars in Detroit, boy. This is still the motor. You get it? Motor city. We sell motor
No,
vehicles for real.
now,
Yeah,
Detroit has changed its whole makeup. People come go to Detroit now for other things other than cars. I mean, you got technology, you got medicine. Michigan is starting to be known for other things because just because it's time. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
I think in the upper part of Michigan, you guys got a lot of wind farms and stuff up there.
yeah.
You know, so
But
I mean,
you can't get no water for Flint though. What about
but
that?
yeah, well, hey, y'all decided that Flint could stay brown. and I mean the water.
Wow.
Not
You're really trying to get us locked off. You gotta watch out for snipers. Mess with you. Oh my goodness.
well,
Wow.
the water. Okay, now,
You already know Blaze Clarissa. You know that's her city.
hey, I, but I,
Clarissa let you know in a minute too. She'll let you know in a minute. I'll be seeing her going at cats like what?
mhm,
Hey, shut up. She went at Stephen A. Smith. She told him, yeah,
but
shut
she,
up. She said, shut up. Because he
but
said he didn't want to see women fight. So
but
she retweeted and texted him.
yeah,
Tweeted, shut up.
and every picture she got, she's drinking bottled water. Have you ever seen Clarissa turn on the faucet? Have you ever seen? Have you ever seen Clarissa turn on the faucet and grab a glass of water? No, no, you haven't. Don't even try.
She don't stay in Flint no more. She stay in Florida.
Yeah. See, didn't want to drink that water. I know.
Yeah, here. Unbelievable. Wow.
Hey,
Man, oh
man.
man.
Look at it.
I got you going crazy today, boy.
Oh man,
What else did you put that shot?
hey, you should hear me sometime, man. I'm telling you.
Oh
See,
my
hey,
goodness.
I'm like you. I don't pull no punches. If you ask me, I'm gonna tell you. If you
man,
didn't want, if you didn't want to know the answer, you should ask somebody else.
Man, we speak our mind. That's right. Freedom of speech. Yes,
Hey,
indeed.
hey.
I respect that. I respect that, you know.
Hey man, look. Oh, you know, I was looking at another guy that I was looking at the other day. Man, was um this guy that claims that he sparred Gervonta Davis.
Yeah, I saw that.
For over 20 rounds, and he said Gervonta only won 2, maybe 3.
Yeah.
And the kid, I've seen him fight. He's on. Is he on? I think he's on the Showbox The Next Generation.
Yeah. Sparring is different. You know, hey, a guy can get down on me in a sparring session. That don't mean he can beat me in a fight. You know, in a sparring session, we talking about 16-ounce gloves. We ain't talking, and we talking about headgear. You get in a fight, now it's a whole different ball game, you know, because now guess what? We got them little bitty gloves on, and we actually getting paid. It's a crowd there versus just some homies, and they just watching a little sparring session. That's different. Fighting and sparring, two different things. Now, don't get me wrong. A person that inspired with you can actually know how you coming at them and can kind of like understand what to do as far as if y'all fought, if they spar you a few rounds or maybe more than a few rounds. But styles make fights, and you know, you sparring and fighting is totally different. Big time, totally different.
And he's also saying that you know, like I think they when they were sparring, you know, Gervonta was about 160 pounds, and he was 150 some or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
so neither one of them were, you know, in fighting shape. But I don't know, man. What do you think about, you know, you walking around at 160 and you fighting at 135?
Oh man, you know, Javante be doing that, man. He be getting down, he be bigger than that. Be getting down in weight. I've been big like my whole career. I get down in weight. So I mean it's a sacrifice. It's hard on the body when you do it as you get older, but you can get away with it when you're younger. Just you have to hurry up and get it together before you start getting older, because it will come back to haunt you. And it did come back to haunt me a few times. So, you know, you live and you learn, but hopefully you learn before before, you know, something happens to you or you get knocked out. So Devin Haney said that the female says he wants $10 million to fight him. And he said that's a duck game. It's a duck job. He's asking for all that money just to avoid him. Do you agree with that?
No, I told you I thought Devin Haney was the weakest in that division as far as the top 5. He would be my number 5.
Wow. And you know his dad done retired as his trainer now. So, you know, I guess Devin Haney is looking for a trainer now.
His daddy's actually a musician. I was trying to get in touch with his father a couple of years ago.
You got money now. You don't got to sing nothing now.
Well, you know, well, I mean, you know, that's uh, he was one that I can say on the outside, it really looked like he had his son's best interest at heart. Uh,
Yeah.
I understand it as you get older, and you get more,
Yeah.
into the business that you do, sometimes need some other guidance. So I
Yeah.
don't know the inside story there, but
Yeah.
you know,
I know
uh,
the other guy still training him though. I can't recall his name. I talked to Rick Ross last night, and he was
okay,
telling me, he still has that one trainer, Mickey Bay. He said Mickey Bay still his trainer. Yes,
Mickey Bay.
yeah, Mickey Bay.
Okay.
Yeah, Mickey Bay is his trainer. So I was,
Mickey Bay was a good fighter too. Is
yeah,
is is he a good trainer?
yeah, he a good
We
trainer.
we
I
we,
mean,
we,
doing
we I
things.
mean, we just talked about it. That's why I'm just
Yeah,
asking.
yeah, he a good trainer. Good thing. It's good to have someone that actually been in the ring. And if they trying to be a trainer, at least they know the knowledge. Can they hold the pass the right way? Who knows? But they know what they know what they doing. But can they show, that to the next fighter? And from what I've saw, Mickey Bay, maybe Mickey Bay can.
Okay,
But
okay.
in other news, Vander Holyfield says that the trilogy between him and Mike Tyson can make $100 million, and it's close to being done. What's your take on that? Holyfield, Mike Tyson. 3. You think Mike Tyson can get him this time?
Let's see. They'll make Mike Tyson wear earpiece. I mean, wear a mouthpiece.
Oh man, listen, this is just an exhibition.
Oh,
It's
okay,
only gonna
okay,
go so many rounds.
okay,
So I think Tyson got a good chance at actually beating Holyfield, because it's not a real fight. You know what I mean? It's a real fight because Tyson gonna be trying to knock him out, and Holyfield gonna be trying to knock Tyson out. But Tyson just recently fought, and you got to remember they're not being drug tested. It's an exhibition, so Mike Tyson can smoke some weed before they fight. So he won't be himself. The fear won't be there because he be off that weed, and they don't tell him what else. So hey, then guess what? He go out there, man, and do his thing. I'm giving it to Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson defeats Holyfield in the exhibition, in the trilogy at K
If
Down.
it, well, wait, if it's a trilogy, then it's gonna be like the Roy Jones fight. It's gonna be no decision, right? They ain't gonna have no referees,
Oh,
no
they called
judges.
it a draw. It was
Yeah, so
a
it's
draw for what
so
they
it's,
said. It was a draw.
well, a draw,
I
no
don't know how.
decision. I mean, so this will be the same thing, right?
Yeah,
It'll make money, but it's still gonna be a. I mean,
man.
I I don't think it'll be like Roy. I don't think Holyfield will, run from him, like that.
Nah, Holyfield ain't running for nobody. Hey, to a
Well,
certain extent, I thought the Holyfield just might have
he
had Mike Tyson's number.
he
But we
ran away from he ran away from the taxes. You
huh?
should you should have told him that.
Man, hey, but he's back. Holyfield is back. And I thought that was a fight that Mike Tyson was going to take first. I thought it was going to be Holyfield.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. How do you fight a guy and have no malice or ill intent when this man bit your ear off? I mean, I know it's a business, but at some time, especially if there's a clinch, am I going to be pulling my head away? I mean,
I mean,
it's,
I think
it,
Mike Tyson is a different person now. He's in peace with himself. And I think that he's comfortable, man. He's comfortable.
he
I,
got weed. He got weed money now. He don't have to take care of Robin and her mama. He
hey,
got weed.
he got podcasts and everything. He making money, man. Mike Tyson probably worth right now. He probably worth 100 million.
No,
Mike
I don't think.
Tyson,
I don't think he's worth that much. I think he's worth about 40 though. When
man,
you think,
I would say 100 because man,
no,
trust me, Tyson.
no,
What brand is good?
no, hold it now.
Do
You,
it.
you got see the thing. You got everybody say that, but Mike Tyson owed the government some money too. Now he ain't just come back there and he didn't file bankruptcy a couple times. I mean, Mike Mike didn't had it hard. You know, you said the name
Had
Mike
it
Tyson,
hard. Had it.
but I mean, what do you consider hard? I mean, when you at one time in your life was probably worth, as you say, $100 million. Now you only worth 40. Yeah, I mean, so what? You can't buy a Range Rover now, but you can buy a Cadillac. I mean, so what? What do you mean by doing bad? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
the one thing I can say about Mike Tyson is that he's blessed. He can actually turn sugar into, I mean, shit into, what I'm saying. You know, I
Uh,
mean, when you think of all the times that that he's had chances to go a different route. I mean, he could have been self-destructive. There was times before he was told to take, smoking weed when he was on cocaine and all that stuff. He was off the charts. Now, hey, like I said, he's found his spirituality, whatever it is, and he's at peace. And I think that's a good thing. I mean,
I'm
the,
happy. Yeah, he done calm down. Hey,
yeah, I mean,
y'all come in, y'all snap. Hey, y'all gotta hit them like buttons, man. Hit the like button. Let James know you like him. You like him? How you like him, boy?
how you like me now?
How you like me? Right. For real, for real. Yeah, man. It's surreal. Hey, Jerry Anderson, man. Do you know who Jerry Anderson is? He actually out of Ohio. He's making big noise, and they saying he's the next big thing in boxing. I know he was in camp with Anthony Joshua and gave Anthony Joshua some good work. So he's definitely a guy to be looking out for. Jerry Anderson. I actually saw him spar with Rydell Booker, who's out of Detroit. And man, he was giving Rydell some good work, man. This guy he actually fought on ESPN. He's actually promoted by, I believe, Top Rank. And he's managed by Jay Prince. So he's definitely a guy to actually watch out for. And I believe he definitely will become world champ. Jared Anderson.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Boxing Today says Zion reminds him of Barkley also.
Yeah. You say he do?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
He
Oh,
says he
and
thinks that
Rogers.
he thinks that Holyfield will always have Tyson's number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Tyson will get Holyfield now. It's all about sustainability over the years.
Exactly. And Mike
But Holyfield actually went through a program for fighters and athletes that have been broke, and they put them back on the track, to remind them how to rebrand their name, how to make the best of a bad situation. Like I think he went with them after they sold his mansion. Uh, he contacted them, or they contacted him, and he's a mentor now for other fighters that have lost their fortune, and through their fault, anybody's fault, however you want to call it. But when you think about the money that the two of them have made together, they should be off on an island with
Yeah.
Holyfield Island,
Yeah. Man, he had
and
that big mansion, man. That mansion, man. Listen, that's the mansion. I think who bought that mansion?
I
Rick Ross. I think Rick Ross.
yeah, I think it was Rick Ross that bought his mansion. But
Man, you gotta have money to keep something like that, man. The bills alone is huge. That's probably why Mayweather keep coming back, man. The light bill probably 200,000, 100,000 a month.
yeah, well, you need to cut off some lights then.
And that's just a light bill.
Yeah, you
For real.
need to cut off some lights, because you got a pool and a couple other things there too.
Exactly.
So,
And you know what? They don't even have winter there, so it's no winter. But they still the winter bill is probably a gang of money. You just turn
they don't have no winter where?
in Vegas.
What do you mean they don't have no winter? They have snow in Vegas. What are you talking about?
Man, they don't have. We have ice in
No. Wait a minute. Hold on. I said they had snow. I didn't say anything about no blizzards and
We
none of
got.
that.
That's what I'm saying. That ain't, no.
they, I mean, they get they don't. I don't even know if they got enough to have snow plows.
Man, we
But
be ice skating out here in Detroit, bro.
well, that's we know that. I understand that. But
Yeah.
right now it's winter in California. It's 48 degrees, man.
Oh my goodness.
You know, so,
boy.
hey man, I keep telling you, man, it's California cold and it's the East Coast cold. See,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
look all over there is cold because it's cold out here. If it's cold out here, it's got to be cold back there. So
Oh yeah.
come on.
Willie Nelson too is moving up to middleweight. And he's calling out Triple G and Charlo O'Brien and Murata. And Dimitri Andre, he responds to Jamel Charlo too.
Man, look,
Jamel Charlo, step up.
Look,
And face the big guy.
I want to see. I want to see them all fight Boo Boo. I don't care who I don't care who it is. I like Boo Boo. I think Boo Boo is one of those guys that is too much risk for the reward. That's why they avoid Boo Boo.
Yeah, he talked about retiring. He said, "Hey, man, I might as well retire since won't nobody fight me." I don't think he's active enough though. He don't stay active. He need to get more active, man.
You got to have somebody to get active with K9. He can't go in there and box by himself. And the thing about Boo Boo, if he go in there with an ordinary guy and he beats him, then he should have beat him. But in the meantime, what do you do when you want to fight with some of the champions, but won't nobody fight you? I mean, come on, Boo Boo been calling out Charlos for years.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I mean, who's my other guy there that the same weight class is? He's another one that they avoid.
K9, big time.
And okay. Another one of your guys that you was talking about. What is Ryan Garcia going to do now that he can't fight Pacquiao?
Well, hey, he the champ, so he can fight. He gonna fight the number one contender, whoever's number one in his weight class, or he might. Man, I don't tell him, man, what he might do. He just signed a deal with Gatorade, so he might just, go Gatorade shopping. Well, he don't have to pay at all. He can just go grab a whole store of it and just, probably donate it to the kids, man. He having fun. He having fun. He might go get a movie.
Well, no, okay. Now, you was talking about Devin Haney and all them guys before now. So what you gonna do with Ryan Garcia? You gonna just put him on the shelf? I mean,
no, look, that boy, I don't think he need boxing. He a guy that don't need boxing. He got a fan base. He got I think 8 million followers on Instagram. He is straight with boxing, without boxing.
Okay. All right. Well, hey.
Yes, indeed. You heard what your boy Steady Steven Jet 313 said. They've been avoiding me, dog. I remember I walked up to Floyd Mayweather after I knocked out Corey Spinks and was like, "What's up, Floyd?" Floyd was like, "Nah, I'm straight. Ain't nothing up." Oh yeah, I remember that. Cotto too. Man, and Canelo. Canelo dug me too, boy. I don't think he dug me on his own though. I think it was more or less that Golden Boy Oscar De La Hoya said, "Nah, we not fighting K9. He's strong. He got that different style. You want to mess our money up," and that was smart.
Yeah. Steady Steve said Holyfield looks pretty good. I haven't seen too many of our where's our English boys at tonight? I haven't seen too many of them on there tonight.
Yeah, tell them, man. Some people still trying to
well, it's 4:00 in the morning. I do understand.
Trying to get over that that binge that they had from the Super Bowl. Man, a lot of guys was doing some stuff. Well, they still probably get the hangover from Sunday.
Yeah, that's another thing that kind of scared me. Seeing all them people out there all together. You know, um,
Yeah,
I'm not trying to. I trust a lot of people, but I don't. I mean, well, no, I don't trust a lot of people. I can't say that, but
yeah, absolutely.
especially to be able to see.
I just hope we
But
get back to where we were, man. Like 2-3 years
things,
ago, I would have
things.
walked around without a mask. When you walked around with a mask, it was somebody was sticking somebody up. Now everybody got a mask on. You don't know if they're trying to stick you up or not, or you just look at it as normal. Now a guy can get you
I
easy.
know, man. I know. See, if things had been like this back in the '80s and '90s, K9C, we wouldn't be talking today. I'd
Yeah,
probably, I'd probably be on my little island somewhere, try to holler at Mike and Evander. You know, it's like, man,
yeah,
just think
yeah.
if I could have worn, if I could have just got up in the morning and put a mask on, I'd have been rich by the end of the day. Just think how many banks I could have walked into. Man, see,
Exactly. And
God,
you go into a bank with a mask on. Now you can't go into a bank without a mask on.
yeah, shoot,
Crazy.
yeah, but hey,
Yeah.
things,
I don't know. Yeah. I want to answer this question that Mr. Boxer today said. So he said, Champ, who was the best technician you've been in the ring with? Was the Spinks?
no,
Spinks actually was a good fighter. He probably was the best technician. It's just that I had his number. I knew to jump on him. If I hurt him, not to let him recover. He definitely probably was the best technician. He was definitely had more belts than anybody I ever fought. He was at one point in time, he was an undisputed world
yeah,
champion.
he was,
And
he
he was
was,
a 5-time world champion. And I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Don't let what I did to him stop him from going to where he should be at. 5-time world champion. He definitely deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. Corey Spinks.
I'm
5
gonna,
world titles.
I'm gonna reserve that one.
Sylvester Stallone in the Hall of Fame. He has 0 world titles. Never had a pro fight in his life. And you got a 5-time world champion. You mean to tell me that he can't get in the Hall of Fame? And
I
Rocky
didn't,
Sylvester
I,
Stallone, who never threw a real punch and hit a real person in real life.
I didn't vote for Rocky either.
Huh?
Just so you know, I didn't vote for Rocky either.
Well, I mean, they didn't.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You asked me would I put him in the Hall of Fame, and I said I wouldn't. Now that doesn't mean that you fought against him. You might, but I'm just saying I wouldn't put Rocky in the Hall of Fame either.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
so
Yeah.
so to me, neither one of them would be in the Hall of Fame. But
Yeah.
Rocky, Rocky is Rocky. I don't, I don't understand. I would have more than likely put him in gave him a star on
Absolutely.
the Walk of
There you go.
Hollywood.
Now
I mean,
you're talking.
now that to me would have been more
Yeah.
appropriate.
Pack or
maybe.
something. Give him a Grammy. What's that? Oscar or something. Give him
Yeah. I mean,
award.
they put a statue of him in front of the city hall in Philadelphia. To me, that was enough. But hey,
That was enough right there.
yeah,
But he could go in the Hall of Fame. Many people have lead,
I think
ring for real.
Hey,
They should be in the Hall of Fame. But for Rocky,
I think Apollo Creed should be in the Hall of Fame for that beating that he took.
okay.
But that's
There you go.
I would have put Apollo.
He made the movie too. He made the movie.
Yeah, I would have put Apollo Creed in there before I put Rocky.
Me too.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, Tommy Morrison. Exactly.
At least for real.
Yeah, I mean, put them all. Hey, man. But anyway, man, look here. It's almost 20 minutes after 8, man. Let's go home.
All right, man. One love, bro.
I'm already home. So,
hey, man, it was nice talking to you. We'll tap back in next Tuesday at K9's Corner. We gonna do a double trouble since we didn't do it this time because one of our guests wasn't able to come on. We couldn't, figure out what the situation was. But you know, we'll
It,
get y'all on the next
I,
one.
I find out that it's easier
Yeah.
to send them the link on Facebook Messenger,
Okay.
and then they can just tap on that and go
Yeah.
straight to the studio.
Okay.
There's little quirks that you have to find out about this,
Yeah.
but anyway, let me tell them, they can find me. I
Yeah.
didn't already gave my sports show enough plugs. Thursday evening, the
Yeah.
Sports Crib, right here
Yeah.
on StreamYard. Monday,
Yeah.
to an imperfect union. That's on the political consciousness of West Coast Steelers fan. And on Tuesday, I'm here hanging out with you, talking everything Detroit,
Yeah.
boxing to hockey to damn. I don't even know nothing about hockey, K9. You got me with the Red Wings there.
Yeah.
I couldn't come back on that one.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
yeah, man. You can find me on all the Facebook pages. Make sure you check it out. And if you want to have a little humor, I got a page called Dave Chappelle, Down with Dave Chappelle. And you can go on there and find a little humor every once in a while.
Yeah.
We do Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, all of them, So
That's good.
yeah. So yeah, you can and K9. I know that you're on Sunday. I saw you live sparring on Sunday. So go ahead and give them everything. Your boxing website. I know you got some gear. You got some gear and stuff out there.
Man, I got some gear.
Come on, man.
We still working on the website though, so we got the gear. You're gonna be able to download. You're gonna be able to download the workouts and everything. So I'll be having workouts you can download. Like K9 Boxing Fitness is my new Instagram channel. So go actually and follow that. I'm on Twitter at K9 Boxing, Facebook K9 Boxing, YouTube K9 Boxing. And if you want to, sponsor, help sponsor the show, you know what I'm saying? We got this super chats. And you can DM me if you want to, do some business with your boy K9 or James King at K9Boxing at gmail.com. So, y'all know how to catch us. Y'all know where we at. Dog Pound every Tuesday. And, this Sunday, I won't be going live because I will be headed to out of town to go train someone for a whole week. And I will be letting you guys know Tuesday who that person is. Y'all will be shocked and surprised. So big news next Tuesday on the Dog Pound. Yeah. My man's in them.
All right, my man. See you next week.
Yep.
Have a good one.
Cheers.